Hey Randy, back here from Glacier. Today's video is going to be on beaver. I'm going to kind of address most of the questions and misunderstandings on beaver, as well as the color, the region that they might come from, and some sizing. So first, the beaver is the only pelt that is measured length plus width. So when a lot of people, that are new to the business buy a 60 to 65 inch beaver, they expect it to be 60 to 65 inches long, and that's not the case. So beaver is measured length plus width, and the sizes, run from the max would be over 70 inches, which would be a super blanket. But anymore, everything just kind of stops at 65 inches, which is a 2X large. I'm going to show you, this is an extra large size. So if we take this beaver here, now this is raw, it's not tanned, it's a Maine beaver, a northeast beaver. Now this one is 35 inches long, I believe, 34 inches long, by 27 inches wide. So it's 61 inches, which means 60 to 65 is an extra large. Now I just want to show you, this is that same size beaver when it's tanned. So you can see how much shrinkage there's been in the beaver when it's tanned. However, if you block and stretch, and we do have a block and stretching video on our website. But here's a blocked and stretched beaver. And if I put this on it, you can see you get all of it back. So this is, again, this is a tanned beaver against it, but you can see how much volume you gain. And then I'm going to put it against the raw beaver. Again, it's a little difficult, but here we are. So almost goes back to where it started. I mean, we lost a little bit in length, but it's almost the same width. So once blocked and stretched, as our website says, it'll be much larger. And if you're going to be making something out of beaver, you need to block and stretch it. Okay, so to give you another example, when it's plucked and sheared, when it's plucked and sheared, which is what this one has been, it shrinks even more than what it would if it was just tanned. This is an extra large plucked and sheared beaver. Now this has been plucked and sheared, so what happens is the guard hairs are hand plucked. All these long guard hairs are hand plucked, and then the underfur is all sheared to an even length. Super soft. There isn't really anything that's much softer than a plucked and sheared beaver. So, but again, you can see how much you lose, but then if you block it, it'll come back to within maybe 10% of what it was originally. Okay, so we're going to go to regions here. We'll start with the palest. This is a western pale. So this would be more of a, like a low rainfall west, it's Rocky Mountains, the plains. Very pale, silvery belly. Then you've already seen the northern, but this is a Maine beaver. This would be a little bit paler than usual, but I mean they can run all different colors. This is what we call on our website a Quebec black, not necessarily, or Quebec extra dark, not necessarily right from Quebec, but it's a northern Quebec type beaver. You can get it from Ontario. We'll get a few from Maine once in a while, but I mean you can see it's a super dark brown. Generally have these red cheeks. And we go to what's called a natural black. And again, this can come from any region in the east, basically, but more in the, in northern Quebec and Ontario. really don't see any. Once I'll see maybe one or two from Maine a year, but this is as dark as they get, and this would be, you know, just a shade lighter, but it still has the red highlights. You can see the difference. Okay, so I forgot to mention, we sell beaver skin two ways. This is a split leg, so it's they're all the same beaver. They're all skinned this way. But before we stretch them, we will cut out the legs. Just slit the legs. You don't cut them out, but you cut from the leg to the outside edge, and then you stretch it this way. Sometimes we have them tanned with the legs split out because they get a much more even leather. When they shave the leather and thin it, they don't have to go around the leg holes, so they can get a much more even leather, which is desirable if you're using it for you know, any type of garment or accessory. You know, the round ones, that's the traditional way of putting them up, and you know, with a round beaver, it's great for display. If you're into the traditional type crafts, you know, hooping them, anything like that, you could request a round. We generally leave the leather on our round beaver a little bit thicker, better for hand sewing if that's what you're doing, or you know, like I said again, if round if you just like tradition. I just want to show you the difference also. This is an extra large, so there's still one size larger than this, but just gives you an example. Here's a small, so just so you can get some scope or relation of the smallest size to the next to largest size. Anyway, I think that'll do it on beaver today. I just would like you all to remember that you should not let 2% of the population dictate or legislate what you can eat or wear. You have a great day.